So Dustin, we've been around the holidays, and you had told me briefly a really heartfelt story about how important this Thanksgiving was. You were going up to visit your sister in Tallahassee, and how for a lot of us the holidays are kind of a train wreck in a lot of senses as you're going through it. Could you tell that story of your Thanksgiving of the past?
Sure. So this was roughly 10 years ago. Yeah, I think it was 10 years ago this year, actually. And it was just one of those regular mornings where I woke up super ill,
Yeah.
And when I'm that sick, man, and I don't have the hunt in me, my easiest move was to try and call and beg from people, And so that's
survivor mode, man.
Survival mode.
Yeah.
And so that morning, I don't know, man, because typically my family was like the last on my list, but I was so down and out that I just went straight to my mother. And I remember calling her and going through the same ordeal, man. I'm starving, all the manipulation to make her feel terrible to give me some money. And, she was at this point, she was adamant about saying no to me, which is a good thing, but it wasn't for me at the time,
Sure.
And, but the one thing she did say was that I could come over and eat with them because it was Thanksgiving. I had family that flew in from Kentucky, New Hampshire. I mean, I had
All over.
family from all over that had heard about where my life had led, but never really saw me. The last time they saw me was when I was like a kid. So this was a big family event. And I was invited to it, which is a big deal. But at the time, man, all I knew was that I was extremely ill and I needed to feel better. And after the phone, during the phone call, it was like, how could you do this to me? Like, I'm your son. You're going to leave me starving on Thanksgiving. And if you can think about that, man, like it would be an easy thing for my mother to say no to me.
Sure.
I mean, to say yes,
yes,
and bail me out. She doesn't want her son starving on Thanksgiving, but she did, man. She said no, and she invited me over to eat, and I'll never forget, man, because I was so angry at the time. Like all I could think about was myself. I'm such a victim. Here it is on the holiday. It was just awful, dude. And anyway, I went over there and. At the place where they were eating, there was, the inside where they had this huge spread with pies and, turkey and ham and all the sides, and they're all in these
potatoes,
everything. And they're all in the glass dishes,
Sure.
like these nice spread, man, that they had spent time folding, just nice looking
Sure.
Thanksgiving stuff. And there was also a patio where everyone was kind of having some drinks beforehand, and just hanging out back. And when I walked in, there was nobody inside, and I saw the spread of the Thanksgiving dinner, and I saw that they were all outside, and I stole every single piece of Thanksgiving dinner, man. I mean, I stole the pies, I stole the sides, I stole the turkey, the ham. I stole everything, quickly took it to my car, and took it to the dope man for like a measly amount of dope, And here's the kicker is, I guess I still had a tiny bit of conscience in my mind because I told the dope man that I'm going to need those dishes back. I'll never forget it, man. And of course, I didn't get those
stole
back.
Thanksgiving dinner.
I stole it, man. And the reason I'm so,
man, but that's how low you get in these situations.
That's how low.
Man. That's real. Like in that opioid spin, you're in survival,
dude. But like me laughing about it now is the only reason I'm able to laugh about, because this wasn't a funny situation for years, absolutely. Man. Thanksgiving was just a time where everyone could remember that stunt, my entire family. And dude, think about like the family that came and flew in, and then think about when they came out of the patio and sit down and eat, and then no one had any idea what happened. You know what I mean? I'm sure my mother knew right away, but like everyone had to kind of figure this out. And then my mother had to explain it to them. And so everything.
The whole thing, you got shame, you got guilt, you got everything.
Dude,
just mad anger, everything.
Yes, man. And when I would kind of woke up out of that day too, man, the next day, man, it hit me hard. And then I, did the best I could to forget about it. But on the holidays, you remember what day that is, and you remember what happened. It's just an instant reminder, like, oh, it's Thanksgiving. That's the same day Dustin did this.
So wait, let's fast forward. Now we're 5-6 years just going on sober.
Yeah.
Right now, right? Like close. You're going on 6.
I'm going on 6 in February.
All right, so 5 years later or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What was different? I mean, I love hearing about just like you live with gratitude, and I do love how God takes those bad moments and that prodigal son. I always think about that with a lot of us, and I think that about you, the prodigal son, of just how happy your family probably was to have Thanksgiving and you being there and being of service. And how, like, what a difference! That's all a parent wants,
It took a lot of time, man, because, like my first year in recovery, and they went through 5 more years every Thanksgiving.
Sure.
But my first year in recovery, I still wasn't wanted around, just because I was clean and sober didn't mean I had my family back. And that first Thanksgiving, dude, was one of the loneliest days in my mind, because I was in recovery, so I was still with people in AA.
Sure.
Thank God for that, man. But I remember just how lonely I felt because I had nothing to numb it out. I'm clean and sober. My family's all together having Thanksgiving, and I'm clean and sober, but nobody wanted me around still. That was a tough day for me. But then the following year, I was finally working on my relationship with my family, and they were having me around again, and I was invited to Thanksgiving, which was a big deal, man, because obviously I don't need to explain it. It's a big freaking deal, And I told them that what I would really love to do is make Thanksgiving dinner for everybody. This was kind of obviously my trying to make amends for that.
Sure.
And dude, I spent probably 3 days in the kitchen. I mean, I worked my ass off preparing this huge spread. And it was a heavy day, man, because everyone still had it on their mind, like here he is for Thanksgiving.
Sure.
But it was also very clear what I was doing.
Sure.
I was trying to make an amends, and my family accepted it, and it was a tough day. It wasn't like there was gratitude obviously for what I had done and being clean and sober, but it was still very, very heavy,
Do you think so? Like, this is something I've been thinking about a lot.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about energy, and like, all right, for me personally, like I've apologized before, and sometimes I don't want to apologize, but I've apologized because I just want the problem to go away, or I do something at work. It could be anything, right? Just human nature. And you're just like, but you're still grin and bearing it. You don't really mean it. It's like those empty promises, let's say, to anybody.
Yeah.
And then when you totally surrender and do that, when you really start to change, because you change everything and you're a different person, it's like the family then is ready. It's almost like that energetic thing. They know in their hearts that you're not like, you're doing your best. You mean it. And like saying sorry, that's another thing I've learned is like apologizing isn't the words.
Yeah.
It's not doing the action again. It's like apologizing, but then changing your actions and making making amends, but like you fix what you did wrong. If you can, sometimes you can, sometimes it just is, but then your actions change. Yeah. And I think that means, I don't know, I'm learning that like, and I know that's how I like to be treated. Like, talk is cheap. We live in a world where everybody has these clips. Yeah. Everybody's saying what they're doing, but like, when someone really means it and they change and they do something different. Yeah. Yeah. It's just so different. And I find that like in my, road and journey, that's made all the difference. Yeah. And it's like, it's so much different, and it leaves room, I believe, for like God, to heal everybody.
For sure. And I think that's exactly what was happening, but it was so hard. Dude, I've already told you how many times I went in and out of
Yeah.
rehab. So this wasn't like, he's here, he's redeemed. It was like, all right, well, this is a cool thing he's doing, but he's going to relapse, tomorrow or next week. So no one had really some faith in me, They were letting me come around. They were letting me do my amends, but at the same time, the belief wasn't there yet. That and so I did this for the next 3 Thanksgivings. And that third Thanksgiving, that is when I think what
really?
You're saying really clicked in, was people could feel that I was different. Man, 3 years or 4 years into recovery, your whole world is different. You know what I mean? I'm a different person. I think differently. I do different things. And that's what happened. And I'll never forget, man, it was that third Thanksgiving where I did the whole deal. I cooked it again, but there was a lighter feeling in the room. You know what I mean? It wasn't so heavy. And my sister said something about me stealing Thanksgiving dinner. And this was always something that everyone knew, but we didn't talk. Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
And my sister said something about how freaking crazy it is that I stole. I mean, because, dude, it's crazy. You know what I mean? It's
but it is like, I only know this version of you. So like you hear some of these stories.
Oh, God, thank God
but then when you see the person, how they are, and I see your actions, that's all I know. It's like, it's like, wow, it's insanity. But it's like a funny story. But really what's great is seeing where a person is now. I'm starting to learn that. And it's like a different, I don't know. It's a lighter thing. Like I'm able to let myself off the hook for things I did in the past.
Yeah.
And then I'm able to see. And then there's times that like sometimes you can't. You're never that person's gonna hold the grudge, and sometimes it's just like you leave them alone.
It is what it is.
You leave them alone, and you find forgiveness in yourself, and you pray that you pray for them.
Yeah.
Right. So I think of you too, man. I've thought about this a lot with you though. Like there's a part in recovery, and we weren't even going to go into recovery, but it's such a big part of your story.
Dude, how can I not?
I know.
I mean, it's my life.
But it's like one is like the promises, right? And they have a saying when you get through halfway done, these promises will come true.
Yeah.
Right. That will happen. Your world will be, things that used to be fear. There's all these sayings. And how is that? I see that in your life a lot, like the family restored, you got a new career.
Yeah.
You're pretty at peace. I mean,
Yeah, man. All those promises that you're talking about at one point or another have come true for me.
I mean, for like hope for other people that like maybe they're thinking this path is not going to happen.
And that's, I think, why I chose to go into social work, man, because there was a time where I really, every time, man, I didn't think I would make it. I talked about my family doubting me and thinking I would relapse. That was always me too. I never thought I was going to get it. After the 20th rehab, probably even before that, I had lost faith in myself as well. And even, this time around, man, it took me a few years to really have faith in myself, but it's absolutely possible. You know what I mean? Like someone can go into rehab 20, 30 times and still get their life back together. I'm living proof of that, and just because anyone else or me has relapsed 1,000 times, it doesn't mean they have to the next time.
It's awesome.
And all it takes is consistency, consistency. Dude, my life has not been just rainbows.
Consistency and perseverance. You learn all these there's a part of it that you surrender, you stop fighting, right? But there's these attributes that you get along the way: perseverance, courage,
gratitude,
strength, gratitude. All these other things that then they become your tools in your tool belt to get through it. And you just feel like you can, it does translates in a lot of other areas of your life.
Yeah.
I've had a couple challenges recently that popped up, they're like, it normally, not that it's not hard, and they are hard, but like at the end of the day, you're like, all right, where am I at right now? What do I have right now? What is good in my life right now?
Yeah.
And you're able to go, all right, well, we'll trust that we can take care of it. And we'll just keep taking the next foot forward. And that's just
you seek out change.
Yeah, it's just such a different way of, because you can't part of life is you're never going to be able to, I'm a parent. You can guide your kids. You can put some fear, but you can't control them. You weren't controllable. I'm not controllable. You know what I mean? We all know, like, if you're smart, you start to realize.
And the more control you put on someone, it's almost the more you push them away.
It really is. Or they're beaten down and their soul's crushed, right? And they're in therapy for the rest of their life. For sure. And so you start to realize that. Then there's relationships with other people. Then there's workers, there's deals and everything else. So it's like gives you kind of a roadmap that, like, I can control what I can control. Yeah. The rest of it, I'm going to pray about it, and I'm just going to ask for wisdom to get through it and the strength.
And seeking out ways to change. Like something I notice about you a lot is you're always looking for ways to make your life better, right? Or to accomplish something new. Dude, my old life, I didn't seek out anything. The only thing I was seeking out was to feel okay. I just wanted to feel all right. That was my entire life was, I don't want to be uncomfortable. I want to feel a little bit better. Yeah. And today, that I think everything that you just listed is what it is. I wake up and I seek those types of change. I look for things. I find ways to help people. I want to make my life better. I look for a career change. You know what I mean? Like that is the difference. And I think it's something that everyday people do. But when you get trapped in that cycle of addiction, man, I get stuck in just wanting to feel okay. Exactly. That's it.
I think we all, I think that,
and it's all about me.
And I don't think that's just, if you're an addict or anything in this society. I think we're accustomed. I mean, we've been programmed until you take a step back and breathe. We're programmed not to, we've got to change the way we feel all the time.
You're right.
Like it's constant. And it's not like, I don't know where it came from. It's not like, everything's to feel good, to not be bored, to not be, and it's like all this stuff adds up.
And it doesn't have to be drugs. It's all sorts of shit.
It could be social media. It could be like whatever it is, but it's always it could be a relationship. It could be food. It could be, like we're constantly bombarded with that something's wrong and we need to change.
Or seeing someone else that has it better.
See, comparison
right? All day.
And then a lot of it's false anyway. It's like so false. Because like what you learn in this.
So false. Like my Facebook page, which we talked about. It was all pictures of me camping and you know what I mean?
Well, you weren't camping.
Dude, I was camping, but all I was doing was sitting in rehab. Awesome. But anyone on the outside.
It would have been great if like when you were like in your low point, like you did like a survivor, like you acted like you're on like you're doing like alone, like Survivor. Yeah, I'm just surviving. It's so funny, man.
That'd be good.
But I look at that, then I go, man, it's such an internal thing. There's all these outside things, but you can't count on them. They're depleting. That's something that's been in my mind a lot. And the other one too, and I want to ask you this. This is we're around the holidays and all that stuff, and I think there's an overall. If you take a step back, there's a little bit of a dark like there's a lot of anxiety about the future. We don't know if we're going to lose our jobs for AI. If you turn on the news, we don't know if we're going to be in World War III or we're going to be all right. We don't know if this is going to happen. I mean, it's bombarded. It's like you could even just be looking at a picture of your family and then all of a sudden something hits you.
Yeah.
And it's tough to go, I know for like younger people, they're having a hard time going, should I go to college? Is it even worth it?
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to buy a house? And the reality of it is, and I just want to ask you this, like we lived in some pretty good times, like the 2000s and, 90, like all those times are really good. But I always laugh about it. Like some of the best times there were, my life was the biggest disaster. And now in the craziest time, I'm the most at peace and happy. And I have the most pressure on me as I've ever had. I have these things. Do you find that too? Like even with the chaos, like you're at peace though, right? Like there's another way through it.
It's all in here, It's all internal. And it's so easy to get bogged down with, is the world going to end? Is AI going to take over? I think something that being in recovery, what it taught me was the whole 24-hour. You got today, man. And the more I can plug into, I just have today, because an alien ship could land when I walk out today and blow us all to smithereens,
Supposed to
Supposed to happen. but anything could happen at
the
any
water
point.
level doesn't rise. We're still out there.
This could be the last thing I ever do is this podcast, right?
Yeah.
And the more I can plug into that, right here, right now, being present, the better my life is. You can't control anything that's going to happen. I mean, I can do what I can, but things are just going to happen. You hear stories about people that have been sitting in prison for 40 years and they're totally at peace, or a guy can sit in a cave and
so true, man.
Dude, it's totally just a prison of your mind.
And it is. It's hard, man. You have these outside influence. You have these habits, the habitual, like our thoughts that you're like, they run amok. But the one thing it does teach you is like how to go and maybe tune into some different ways of thinking. Yeah. And everything. What you think about then is what you feel. And then, you change even not moving around, like you get up and move around. You have all these other ways and avenues.
What does it change?
Change, I don't know.
Move your feet, change.
Move your feet, change your seat.
What is that?
I know. I was going to say change it. Yeah. Change your position. I don't know. It's something like that. I know so many things on this. I'm like the master of having halfway of the same. I was trying to say like 1 Corinthians. It was about love like the other day. And I knew like one of the, I knew the love part, the most important is love. And I was like, and there's other two. It's like faith and hope. I could not like, well, I'm always like almost there.
That's because my memory is shot. I'll say that. I know what I want to say, but I don't. Yeah, my memory is bad
at the end of the day.
But your question was, how do I kind of stay, I don't know, in gratitude during a dark time, which is not a dark time, but you think there's a shadow kind of over the holidays. They're stressful, stuff like that.
Or money issues or anything. I mean, these are all like that happen. They still happen in recovery. Yeah.
I really think the more I plug into what's happening right here, right now, like staying present, I really think, I enjoyed drugs so much is because they plugged me into the right here, right now. And all I cared about was the way I felt in that moment. And
you're going from feeling to feeling.
Yeah. And when you take that away, I had to learn other ways to plug in to right here and right now. And, my connection with a higher power, my spirituality, gratitude, all of that love, that's what I'm seeking right here, right now. I want to have a conversation with you that's in gratitude, that speaks love, that, hopefully other people can, right here and right now I want this to be good because I don't know the next thing is promised.
My wife literally, like, it's tough to live with probably someone like us on some levels. It's like, even with the gratitude, but like, she's like, you could talk about this with people. You get like light up. Yeah. And it really is. Cause it's just you're like, we would sit in the gym and just be like, can you believe this? Can you believe, like in a good way? Not like, oh, this is bad. We're like, oh, and then this happened. This is great. How good is life today?
Exactly.
You see the miracles around it.
Yeah.
What would you say, to somebody that's like teetering, they're in a lot of pain, like, but they don't know, maybe they scrolled up on this or something.
Yeah.
What would you say? What's the next step?
What I would want to say to them is, dude, it's not that big of a deal.
I know.
Because nothing is. I mean, dude, if I think about some of the stuff I've been through in my life, that was like, it was the end of the world, right? It was the end of the world. My life was over. Everything was falling apart. And I got through it. Right. And I look back at that stuff now and it was just not a big deal. Nothing is. I mean, dude, I just went through cancer. It wasn't a big deal. Right. Like it was a big deal, dude. But just being in gratitude through it. I mean, the doctors do what they do. I show up and it's not that big of a deal. Right. Like nothing is, man. It's a big deal when I make it a big deal. When I say that, this is the end of the world. This is so hard. I can't. When
you attach a meaning to it, that's like, I tend to, this is what I'm pretty good with, like catching myself with it, but like the spiral down that this happened and then I'm living in the past.
Sure.
Oh, gosh,
that domino effect.
Yeah, and then it's like thinking that I'm hopeless. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, this is always going to happen because this happened. And it's like, wait a second. I got like you said, I think about that a lot as well. I was in that position a couple of years ago and I got through it.
Yeah.
I got in through this and God found a way,
Yep.
you know, and when that happened, remember I thought my life was over then and I'd never recover. And, you know, I'm sitting here right now,
Yeah.
you know, doing
Got
this
through it.
with it. And it's like those, you know, we could play no hope or hope.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and it's that feeling of being like expansive
Yeah.
or contracting.
Yeah, absolutely. What did a friend of mine told me something I'll never forget. It's the best, one of the best things I've ever heard was on the other side of on the other side of your biggest obstacles are your biggest gifts.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely true. If I can recognize that whatever I'm going through, it's hard, right? This is tough. Then that means I got a nice big gift on the other end of it. I just
and there's a lot. Sometimes
it.
there's a lesson to learn, and sometimes
always not sometimes.
Yeah,
every time.
Like there's a situation that I'm dealing with right now that like I want to lash out and go, I did my part, I got this. But
what is it?
No. When I dig into it, I'm like, man, I should have seen this coming. I should have been, you know, more prepared. I could have, and I was being lazy or I was being wishful thinking where I should have been, you know, I knew it, you know, like there's, you know, and I just tightening down on different things that are easy to do. They're usually not that hard either.
And you always have a choice, you know, like,
and it's not over. Like there was some time like when you were a kid that like you could just move on. And it's something about being an adult, like we linger in it and then go, oh, this is never going to happen. And then I'm stuck here, whatever else. And then you see someone else doing it and you're like, I'm never going to get there. And it's like, it's all BS. It's like you said, it's all not that big a deal.
It's all not,
you know, the only big life or death thing is life or death.
Yeah.
And even that in the end, you know, like in the end, it's just a transition on some things. Like my mom passed this past year and it was,
that's what I was just going to say.
It was like, it wasn't though, it's tough, miss her around the holidays and everything, but it was so great being with her. She lived such a great legacy with us and she was at peace. So why are we going to be?
And that makes it just so much easier for everybody else.
Yeah.
You know?
And life goes on though. It does go on. And I heard one thing, and it's like, it's not like this pity party. It's just realizing how insignificant you are. There's a lot of peace in it. I saw it like yesterday.
That's good.
I saw a thing saying that like in 100 years from now, your kids, do you know your grandparents' names and everything else like that? Someone else is gonna live in our house. Yeah, someone else is gonna live, you know, drive, be doing something that we're doing. For most of us, we're not really gonna be that remembered. You know, I mean, like it's over, and all that stuff that we really were freaking out at the time, and it was ruining our life, and the world was circling around us because the world's around us. Yep. Isn't gonna matter, man. So if you go with the flow and you do that, you know, you love and you go through that process, it's like a lot more enjoyable.
Wait, my favorite people to be around are the people that are humble, you know, they're in a good mood, they're, you know, they just emit, is that the right word? Emit humility, you know? Yeah. And go with the flow. Like those are the people I'm very attracted to. You know, someone that's all up in their shit, man, or like it's always a big deal, or they always got a drama going on, or you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a therapist. I can vibe with it, but I don't want to necessarily. I'd rather be around people that know that there's a better option at all times. And no matter what, man, we always have a choice. But you know, I as I say this, I don't always do it.
No, and
sometimes I want to be in my shit. You know, sometimes I fully recognize I'm going down the wrong path, and I continue to go.
Sometimes you want to be in the pity party, and you want others to feel bad because you're going to change it by having other people.
Exactly.
Dude, there's some baby thing of it that I'll be saved or anything else. It's not my fault. That's what I did. I remember like drinking because someone else, you know, didn't stop drinking or something. Like you did. Well, you guys didn't change, so it showed you. You know, it's like that's so ridiculous.
Drinking the poison and and wanting you to die. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, you got anything else?
Well, you had asked me about my family briefly.
Yeah.
And so I just had Thanksgiving again with my family. I just went up to my sister's house. And
all the food was left there.
All the food was left there. There's no food left, well, except for some leftovers, which were unreal.
That's all right. You're allowed to take those.
Yeah, I just finished those yesterday, so props to my sister for that. But it was very light. You know, I talked about Thanksgiving being so heavy the years. This year it wasn't, man. It was so light. It's like I've finally been able to show some consistency to the people I care about, to where they believe in me. And not only that, but where they're not just constantly watching me. You know, my mom leaves her purse out. My sister doesn't have to hide her stuff. And at Thanksgiving this year, and this is how different I am, is I would have never thought about doing this, but I went around to each member of my family and gave them a hug and said, I'm very grateful for you. And that's not something that would have even dawned on me to do. You know what I mean? I just didn't think that way. And today, like, that's what I'm looking for, is ways that I can make my family's life brighter, or, you know, I can show love more. I can build that relationship, and like the things that I would tell people that are in the pity party, or pity party, you know, or their life is over, they have no hope. I have absolutely felt that way. But today, man, I just have so much hope, because the more I look for it, the more it appears, you know, like,
well, we see it, and we see it every day.
Yeah.
We see people's lives
because we're
change.
looking for it.
Yeah, but we definitely see people's lives be restored and everything else.
Absolutely.
And God works his magic with everybody.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
It is, man. It's amazing what God has given me back. And I don't know, I couldn't ask for a better family, you know, and the way we get along today is just, I don't know, man. It's almost like, because of all the stuff I've been through, I almost have a better relationship with them, because they see what I've gotten through, you know.
It's a gift, man.
It is.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a true, it's the only thing I can say is a prodigal son, you know, and when you read about that, and I used to like go, why does a kid that screwed up get all the love? Because he came back, and the kid that like obeyed, it's like still like pushing. I was like, as you get older, you're like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Like your kids, when they come home, you're like, you know, so there's nothing better in the world, you know, than that love.
I was right around the time I met you, you know, I had just been through, this was what, maybe a year ago?
Yeah.
And I had just moved back to St. Augustine. I had just gotten through a 5-year relationship over. I'm back single. I'm in a new town where I didn't know anybody other than, you know, the people I used to run with. I just found out I had cancer.
Nice.
I just found out my dad has dementia.
Another strike.
Yeah, lots of strikes going
relationship.
Broken, all of it, man. It was hard, and that could have killed. You know what I mean? Those things. Those were all things in the past that had those that come
Plus
true.
A move, man. Wow.
Plus a big move. Yeah. It was a lot, man, and I was feeling it. You know, like there was some time where I was feeling the pain of that, but you know, and the other part was like, I really wanted a family, you know, and I thought that I was going to have that with my ex, and just out of nowhere, she tells me she doesn't want it, and we break up. So I was really feeling alone, you know, and I met you, you know, and you don't have to say how old you are, but you're older than me.
Pity.
You're older than me. Yeah. Just by a little bit. And you had just had a newborn baby. Your mom was on, you know, death's bed.
Yep.
Getting ready to watch her pass, and you were just so happy. You know what I mean? You were in just such a good mood, and that really I haven't told you this, but it really inspired me. I think I may have told you this, but it inspired me. You know, like, that's a lot to be going through, but also at the same time, I'm feeling I'm never going to be able to have a family. I'm too old. No one's going to want me. And here you are with a newborn baby, you know, brand new wife, and you're older than me. And I think that's how this world works, is like,
it's crazy.
You inspired me to understand that things are okay. It's not a big
deal. Dude, that's cool you even saying that, because that makes me feel good about, you know, I forget about it, because that's like my go-to is my kids, that they're good. Like, I mean, I have my daughter Jada. It's crazy. Like, seeing my kids where they're at, my wife, my son. I had 3 girls, and then a stepdaughter, and no son in the picture. You know, I was 48, you know, getting married, and didn't even think my wife would, you know, want me. You know, like, I had what's called a little bit of baggage.
What's called a little bit of baggage.
And it's been a
small little
thing,
bag.
but it's like, you know, you can get through it. And honestly, like, I'm so thankful that I did go to that road, because I had a lot of good going on in my life, but then going to that road, it broke my ego completely. I mean, it was like that. It's a gift when you accept it, because like everything you said, every meal tastes better.
Yeah.
Every time I have something goes good, it's like, oh.
Yeah, you feel it now.
Feel it.
Yeah.
Like you appreciate it. I still make mistakes, and I do make mistakes, and there's sometimes I'm like, man, I should have, like I said that, but it's like, it's not that, I can correct them, and it's so rich, and I'm like, I have no idea how it happened.
Yeah.
I have no idea, like these little miracles that happen and how things lined up from doing it, and it's like, it's so good.
Yeah.
So I love watching you go through it too, because I remember when you were like new to the area and you were hurting and everything, and then seeing you though get through it, and you could see you change, you could see it come over. I love that, man. That is my favorite thing to see.
It is cool.
Each time you talk to people.
And just building that network, man, is so important, dude.
Yeah.
Like that feeling of being alone. That's why things like AA are just so good, because you can build a network of people that like can inspire you, that can remind you things are good.
And you see people with great stories, and you see that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not what I thought it was. It's nothing what I thought it would be like. It's nothing what I thought it would be like at all.
Like what they show in the movies.
Yeah. I didn't know what to think.
Yeah.
And I didn't, but I enjoy it so much more for the spirituality of it and the connections.
And similar minds, like.
You don't feel crazy because you're crazy together.
Exactly. And a lot of people, man,
and I think it would work in any realm of life like that you're going through. I think someone who, like, let's say, dealt with a cancer.
Yeah.
Someone whose wife or husband died of cancer and you had young kids. I think it's the other people that went through that same situation that could help them, and it heals them by helping them.
Exactly.
I think, like, death of it could be anything, like all that stuff, and a kid with a childhood disease, also whatever it is, and I think it's the other families that can say, hey, it's just like, you just want to relate.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
And then you heal by helping the others, and that becomes
that's I think the key piece. You heal by healing others. That's why I went into social work. That's why I chose to be a therapist, man, because the only way that I can deal with my past and that tiny bit of baggage is by sharing it with other people, awesome. Showing that I got through it to the other side, and there's a gift on the other side of every obstacle. But I need to be reminded, man. You know what I mean? Like, I can live my life some days where I just forget how good it is. I just forget how good it is.
The human challenge, I'd say. I do too, but it's like, it's quickly. And even we have a text thread.
That's what I was just about to say.
And you're like, oh yeah. Today was a great example. I'm doing a fast right now, and I'm like tired.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you get a little bit down in the middle of it. And I like got on there. I was like, all right, I got to be good. And
it's a gratitude.
Yeah. Like I got to get it. And then I felt better reading everybody else's, and I got into it,
It happens to me almost every morning, man.
It's awesome.
Because I wait, my mornings, that's the reason I go to the beach and watch the sunrise, is because I'm not that great in the morning. I don't like get spiritual right away, and I don't start praying. I want coffee and I need to start my day, and, going and watching the sunrise gets me connected to what I need to get connected to. But then when I get a text, and first thing in the morning, it's, JD talking about how grateful he is for this whatever situation happened. And then they just start coming in. I get, Brad hits it with another one, and then Ben, and they just, all I see is all this gratitude just pouring in first thing in the morning. Dude, you can't read all that stuff and hate life.
And the coolest thing is knowing challenges that they're going through, and they're still grateful.
You know what?
That's awesome.
When I read, so this isn't the first time I've had a gratitude thread going. I've had them. It's a common thing in recovery. The first thing I would do every relapse is delete any gratitude thread I was in. I did not want to hear it. You know what I mean? Like that's not something I want to be plugged into when I'm out there living that life. And it's crazy, man, because it's the first thing I want to be plugged into today.
It's exact opposite. Everything's exact opposite.
It's all what I'm looking for. It's all what I'm seeking. Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, listen, man, I enjoyed this. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Proud that we're friends.
Me
grateful
too.
that we're friends. Actually,
Very
I shouldn't
grateful.
say proud, grateful. And man, love you, and can't wait to see your next few steps.
It's a great day to have a great day.
That's right.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.